Welcome along to another interview today where I'm pleased to be joined. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome along to another interview today where I'm pleased to be joined by up-and-coming flat apprentice jockey Thore Hammer-Hansen. Thore, how are you today?
Yeah, very good. Thanks, and you?
Yeah, not too bad, thank you. So the first things first, how's lockdown been for you since racing had paused? Obviously, we've come back now, but how's lockdown been for you at the moment as a flat jockey?
Yeah, not too bad, to be honest. Obviously, no racing has been a bit tough, but other than that, I've been riding out every day. Keeping busy in Richard Hannon's, obviously. So not a lot has changed except the no racing part.
So in terms of your upbringing into racing, your father was a jockey, rode over 1,000 winners in Hong Kong and also Scandinavia. Was racing always going to be the ideal path for you growing up as a child?
I started off with show jumpers and stuff like that. But I soon realised that race horses was sort of the direction I wanted to go, and my dad sort of gave me the guidelines as well to kind of go in that direction. So I suppose from 12 years onwards, it was always going to be race horses.
So was your father a big influence in you becoming a jockey? Was he always somebody who you looked up to as a role model to aspire towards becoming a jockey?
Definitely, 100%. He was very professional. He still is. But especially as a jockey, he was very professional, and obviously he's been traveling the whole world, riding group winners all over the world. So he was definitely someone that I looked up to, and I still strive to be like.
So in terms of where you've ridden before, you've ridden in Germany. What's Germany like as a racing sort of nation? Obviously over here it's massive racing over here. In Japan it's big. What's it like in Germany? We don't see much media coverage of German racing. So what's it like to experience riding in and being in around Germany?
It's lovely riding there. They have lovely tracks. I suppose they're just a bit older than the English tracks because the money isn't there to renew sort of the grandstands and the weighing rooms in a way that we can in England. And there wouldn't be as many race days and the prize money wouldn't be as high. But to ride, it's a lovely country. And obviously I know all the major jockeys out there due to my father riding there for a long time. So I'm always happy to go home, but I prefer England.
So in terms of you've been based with Richard Hannon now, how did the move come about? I think I was reading before doing this interview that William Buick was a big factor in getting you to move to Richard Hannon. So how did that all materialise?
Yeah, definitely, 100%. I started off riding as an amateur for my dad, and just riding out before school and at weekends. And he said if I was to be serious about becoming a jockey, I should go to either France or England, just because the racing is much bigger. So I made my move over to Andre Fabre for a couple of weeks, and I learned an awful lot there. But I decided France wasn't to be, so my dad picked up the phone to William, and he said it's Richard Hannon's or Andrew Balding, so I picked Hannon's.
So in terms of Richard Hannon as well, he's nurtured some very good careers. Tom Marco and Ryan Moore to name two there, and also Sean Levy as well. What's he like as a boss to work for day in, day out, away from the racecourse?
Away from the racecourse, he's a very nice person to be around, very funny, and he's been really good to me on and off the track, giving me plenty of chances on nice horses to ride on the track, and been very helpful off the track with whatever help I need. So yeah, great personality and a great man to work for.
So in terms of last season, you had a very good last season. I think you rode over 24 winners, some big winners too. How would you have assessed last season before going into this one?
I always thought I had a really good season last year, especially riding on major meetings. I had 3 rides at Royal Ascot, which was obviously a dream come true. And just riding the horses that I rode very high quality horses last season, which I hope I can get back on this season. And I just hope that this season goes kind of like last year, and I can keep riding the horses that I have ridden, and build up some more contacts. And if the chance is given, I would give the Champion Apprentice title a go.
In terms of last season, I think the horse you got on very well with was Coeur de Lion, trained by Alan King. You won at Chester on him. He took you to some Royal Ascot as well, and also a big meeting at Newbury. Are you hoping this time around you can keep the ride on him as well? Because he took you to some big places last season.
Definitely. I won the Chester Plate on him start of last season, which was very surprising for me that I got the leg up on him, because he went off as favourite, and it was my first ever ride for Alan King, which I'm still very thankful for. And obviously he went out and won, so I kept the ride on him. And he took me to every big meeting you could dream of. Royal Ascot. He took me to Newbury for the Marsh Cup, and obviously the some of the major meetings around to ride at for an apprentice. So he got me on the map, and Mr. King has given me quite a few chances since. So I hope I can keep in the good books with him and just stay tipping away.
So also in terms of Alan King, he also gave you a good ride on Beringer in the Cambridgeshire, which I thought was a very good ride that day. What was it like for you to get a ride in such a major handicap like the Cambridgeshire, which is obviously well known to many flat people around? I mean, it was a narrow second as well on Beringer, but what was that experience like for you that day?
Um, I was very surprised that I was going that I got the ride on him, because Andrea had seen he usually rides him, but obviously with Andrea being retained for Chico Bade, he had to ride one for Roger Varian that day, and obviously Beringer was to spare. I think he was 16-1, so he was a big enough price. But I always thought I had a chance going into the race. And as we hit the dip, 2 out, I thought they would do very well to beat me now, because as soon as I pressed the button on him, he nicked a couple of lengths, and he stayed fine up the hill. But obviously, Frankie had a bit in hand with Lord North, so he managed to catch me. But he ran a massive race, and I hope he can pick up on that form this year, and he'll hopefully take me to big places again this year.
In terms of, you mentioned about the Champion Apprentice title being a possibility this year. To get that, you need plenty of outside rides, which which you've had. You've had Alan King, Bill Turner, Ian Williams, also Alex Dunn. You've ridden winners for. Do you think this season as well, hopefully with the retained backing of them, it could be a possibility? As you said.
I would like to hope so. Yeah. Obviously, I've got a great agent in Shelley Dwyer, who also has Sylvester D'Souza. So if I could get a couple of spares of Sylvester when he's at the different meeting, obviously that would help a lot. And she does an amazing job getting me outside rides in general, and obviously riding for the likes of Alan King and also Ian Williams. They have plenty of runners in big handicaps and on big tracks. So if people see me riding for them this year, hopefully they'll give me some chances as well, and I can get rolling that way.
And just finally, in terms of horses based with Rich Tannen, I've seen you've ridden King of Change at home before. How's he wintered after winning the QE2 last season?
He was always a very big, very strong horse, but the way he's developed over this winter is unbelievable. He's an absolute beast of an animal. I think he must be one of the biggest horses I've ever seen, and he just still flies up there like it's nothing to him. So he's been doing really well, and I can't wait to see him on the track.
And do you think he could be a real superstar this season after winning the QE2? Is it really? Do you think it could be sky's the limit for him this season in terms of his ability and how well he won at Ascot on Champions Day as well?
I think the way he won at Ascot on Champions Day, I can't really see many horses putting it up to him if he can improve the £7 again this year, which I hope. But look, I don't know what the plan is with him for this season. Obviously, that's between Sean Levy and the boss Richard Hannon. But I could see him being a real superstar the way he's improved into himself and got more professional.
And just quickly, finally, before I let you go, in terms of next season, we mentioned about the Champion Apprentice title, but what's any other aims for the upcoming season once you can get back riding, of course?
Obviously, the first target is to ride it all, which I've been waiting for a good while now. But after that, it's just building contacts with trainers that could potentially use me after losing my claim as well. And obviously, just riding as many winners as possible and lose my claim if that was to be.
Okay, brilliant. Well, I'll stop the recording there, Thor, quickly, so I don't lose the footage. Right.